Yet another week ahead in the crowd expedition of Martijn Arets. Martijn, you had a couple of interviews, not so much this time. 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
One at?
Monyq.
Monyq and Mobbr, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, very short. What is Monyq?
Monyq, it's an online platform or service where you as an individual can manage your financials. So normally you all get receipts at every store. You get letters from the tax services, from your insurance company, and they're making one really clear place online where you can get those things together, just to manage your financial services as a individual.
Okay, but it's not unique, is it? There are banks offering the same, isn't it?
Not anymore, because they couldn't make profit from it, so they stopped.
Okay.
There are some services who offer almost the same, like AFAS, but they're going to do it further. So they're now also busy with making their own bank card. So then you have a real-time view on your financial services, because then you can say, okay, I have a budget for dinner of restaurants of €100 each month, and then you can, and at the moment that you pay, then the system sees, hey, you have already paid €80, so you can alert, be careful because you're over your budget. So they're really taking it much more steps forward than the current other competition does.
But the bank stopped with these projects because they couldn't make money. How is Monyq making profit then? How are they going to do that?
With scale. They're going to be international. So in basic it's free, but if you want to have more services, you're going to pay €2 or €3 each month. And they're really having big international plans. Okay,
where can I see the interview? On YouTube, on your channel?
Not yet.
But soon?
Yeah, soon, I think in a week.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely we'll learn more about it, and if you want to do as well, then check the YouTube channel of Crowd Expedition. The second interview was with Mobbr.
Yes.
What is Mobbr?
Mobbr, they're also a partner of the expedition.
Nice.
And they are...
Thank you, Mobbr.
Thank you very much. They're really a cool startup. There's also at the Yes Delft program, and they are building a crowd payment system.
Okay.
We also discussed it before.
Yeah,
but they saying, okay, we're a social currency. So normally, like with Wikipedia, when you're working together, everybody is adding value, but everybody's getting paid in value, but not in money. So people learn from it, get a good feeling, or ego, reputation, network. But in the end, they don't get any money for it. So that's also a problem with scaling these kind of knowledge-based platforms. They've made a system where you can say, okay, with a forum, a Q&A platform, you can ask a question and say, okay, I have €1,000 for the answer. And then the crowd is getting to collaborate in public and a platform and working together to get the answer. And in the end, the system measures, okay, who did add which part of value to the answer. And like when you have added 10% of value, then you get 10% of €1,000.
Okay. Is it working? Is it successful already?
They are going to launch their new platform at the Crowdsourcing Week next week. We're going to Copenhagen. They are already using a pilot with fast-moving targets. It's an innovation community, and we are also going to work with them.
Okay, but is it successful already or not yet?
Not yet, because they're really in the starting phase. So because they're really ahead on everything what has to do with labor in the world. So it will take some time, but I think with a new release, they're going to make really fast steps to getting big.
Okay.
The potential is if I had money to invest, in the most ideal world, I think
if Martijn would have had money. Just what if?
Do you believe fairy tales? That story.
But then you would invest in Mobbr because you do really believe in it.
The potential of all it's huge. Yes.
Cool. Okay. Well, then let's keep on following Mobbr during the whole expedition and keep me posted. I'm curious.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Crowdsourcing Week in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
You are going there, right?
Yes.
Next week.
Next week. It's the European Crowdsourcing Week.
With whom are you going?
With the Crowd Expedition team.
Yeah.
But the extra large version.
Yeah.
So we're taking Klaartje of MKB Services with us, Kelly, of course, on video, but also Sebastiaan Terburg. He's also a member of the expert team.
Yeah.
He will join us. He's also a video technician. So we're going to be with a crew of 4 to the Crowdsourcing Week.
Why are you going there? What do you hope to find there?
We're going to bring and find.
Okay.
Bring is because I'm also twice on stage. They asked me to give 2 keynotes on the main stage. So I'm going to share my crowdfunding lessons and also the first outcomes of the crowd acquisition research. And we're going to interview lots of people. There are 3 days. Every day has a theme. So I think the first day we're going to interview lots of people about how crowdsourcing can be used for a democracy and also running a country. The second day is more about crowdfunding, so we're going to have some interviews. And the third day is the more disruptive day where different kind of new disruptive, also Mobbr is going to present, and we're also going to have interviews with those speakers. Okay,
so all the insights you will gain there will be in the next video, I presume?
Not all the insights, because then it will be a video of 2 hours, but we're going to make separate videos of all the interviews we have
and
at the Crowdsourcing Week.
Your website,
on YouTube, yeah. So every day we're going to make a day video, and it will be also published the same day or at night. And besides that, we are going to launch about, I think, 15 or 20 videos of interviews.
Okay.
So it's going to be a busy day.
Busy week.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I saw some photos on Facebook of a meeting you had yesterday in Seeds to Meet. What was that about?
This week is the National the Sharing Week.
Yeah.
So it's we are also partner of the Sharing Week, and Sharing Week is a week where people and also the sharing initiatives present themselves to the audience. It's a week to promote the sharing economy in the Netherlands. It's also an initiative from ShareNL and from Seeds to Meet and also from Niels Roemen. Yesterday I gave a lecture about, or a small workshop about crowdfunding in Seeds to Meet's location in Amersfoort. And the day before I also was, because Fast Moving Targets, innovation platform, they did a interview marathon of a day. They interviewed 21 sharing economy frontrunners in one day. So it was quite an impressive long day for them.
Yep.
So I also was interviewed. And that will be online, I guess, next week or the week after.
Okay, you're going to repost it
on
your own platforms. Yeah. Any other things in your agenda at this moment, or in the agenda of the past 1 or 2 weeks, that you haven't mentioned yet here, that you do want to share?
Yeah, 2 things. First thing is Kickstarter.
Oh yeah,
you did a research.
Yes,
or
I read it in the newspaper.
Yeah,
it was in Trouw, Dutch newspaper.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, so it's great that it's published. And there were some, surprising insights, I thought.
So they weren't surprising for me.
No, but for me they were, because it was about how Kickstarter is doing in the Netherlands yet, and how many projects are successful. Could you tell something about that?
Yeah, about 6 months ago, Kickstarter started also in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And started is really I think, overclassified term, because they said, okay, as a Dutch person, you can start a project. So they didn't open an office in the Netherlands. They didn't put somebody in New York, because they're based in New York, with the priority on the Netherlands. They didn't change their payment system, so you can't pay with Ideal.
No.
It's just, okay, when you're Dutch, you can start a project.
Yeah.
And we were really, I was really curious about, okay, how successful is it? Because I thought it wouldn't be a success. So Rosanne, she's also a member of the team.
Yeah.
She did a small research of a couple of days, checking all the Dutch Kickstarter projects of the last half year. And we discovered that 75% of all projects didn't succeed. And when you look at the figures that are online now from the projects who are running right now, I think this will only go up in the future. So
okay, so the percentage of not successful campaigns in the Netherlands on Kickstarter, you think that percentage will go up?
Yes.
So it will be less successful in the future?
Yeah.
And you already mentioned, it sounds like they just took the American way of the platform of funding and Kickstarter, and they just pasted it to the Dutch market.
Yeah.
Not thinking this, so there's no fit, there's no match.
No,
if you would advise Kickstarter, what would you advise them to change in the way they do it now, in order to make sure that the percentage of successful campaigns is going up instead of unsuccessful campaigns?
I think the first important question is 75% failure, is it a bad thing? Because in the end,
Well, is it?
it depends on, they made a decision of going global this way, with a minimal investment in resources, in people, in everything. Because of course the platform, the challenge is to get a global platform, but also to have a good business model. And when you're going to start in a new country, in every country you're going to hire people, then there will be really not only a big operation, but also really a expensive operation to getting global. So I do understand their decision, what they did. And the other thing they did is, couple of months ago, before they started in the Netherlands, they checked your project and then they say, okay, we can put it online or we don't put it online. They stopped with doing that because it's also something that costs lots of time. So now every project,
Okay.
So if you want to crowdfund your new tire of your car, you can put it online. So that's also what you know, that the success percentage will get lower and lower, of course, every time.
Yeah.
So and
so is it then really is it Kickstarter's is Kickstarter doing something wrong in your opinion here by enabling everybody to put every project on Kickstarter? Is that a wrong decision?
I think it is, yes.
Why?
Because at the end you also trust on the brand of Kickstarter, because you also trust of the brand of the platform. That's also, I think, why lots of projects did failed, because people were putting their project on the big global Kickstarter and then thought, okay, I'm going to put it online. Because what we also saw, that's also the unsuccessful projects, they put lots of time in making their website on Kickstarter with the proposition, with the video. So everybody put lots of time in getting the project online. That was really special to see. But then nothing happened. So I think that lots of people also trust on the Kickstarter brand, on okay, I'm going to put it on Kickstarter because that's a really good brand, and then also my campaign has a big chance to get to be successful. Yeah. And when you push your doors wide open, then the brand of the platform doesn't add much value anymore. Besides that, okay, we have a good platform with the good facilities, and we can arrange everything for you. But the power of the brand will get less strong, is my opinion.
So, again, if you would advise Kickstarter in the Netherlands, what to do? Because you already, you mentioned, well, you can discuss if 75% is bad, or but what would be your advice to Kickstarter?
I say two important things. One, also fit yourself to the local currency payment systems, because it's quite a high barrier for people when they had to start using PayPal. When you don't use PayPal. Yeah,
but you can imagine that they say, this stupid Dutch people, one small country in the world, which is not using PayPal, and the rest of the world is.
No, that isn't true, because every country in Europe is using their own payment system. So if you want to succeed in a country, because I do understand that I don't want to invest millions of dollars getting into a small country like the Netherlands. But in the end, you can also say, okay, but when you invest in making a good basic, and then you say, okay, good luck. So I think it's the basic threshold has to be lower, and the second thing is that you can also use the crowd in making decisions which project is going to be online. So you don't have to hire lots of people for that. There are, with crowdfunding platforms, some different techniques. Some techniques are, okay, we've got people we hire that make decisions, so that's a good but an expensive technique.
Expensive, yeah.
Other one is like with Simit, you say, okay, the first 15% you raise with your friends, and at the moment that you have raised 15%, then we put your project on public.
Yeah. If you can't convince your friends and family, friends, families and fools first. and then the rest of the world.
Yeah, so that's an option. But also, like with My Micro Invest, we visited them in Brussels. They say, okay, they got a crowd of 18,000 people who invested in the platform. They're using this crowd also to make selections of which projects are going to be put online and which aren't. So you can also use your crowds to be the filter of getting the rotten apples out of the
basket.
Yeah.
Okay, so put the lock back on the door. That's what you would suggest.
Yeah, and where you put the thresholds is a good discussion, but don't get the thresholds away and let because then you can do really crazy things.
Yeah. And on the other hand, implementing Ideal on Kickstarter will take 1 or 2 days for a programmer, max, maybe less, probably less.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be a bottleneck.
No, and beside that, also just maybe for a couple of years, hire a small team for Europe to get a local focus on the issues on everything.
Anything left you want to mention?
No, not yet.
Okay, see you next week.
Great.
Bye-bye.